It is Rangers Daft. We're back. Apologies, we were off last week because basically Grado and Stephen couldn't do it. Grado was down south filming stuff. Can we say it now? We can say Grado is officially going to be on Games Master alongside our friend from Wrestling Daft, Rab Florence. Grado's going to be doing bits and bobs in the revamp of Games Master. Grado, can you reveal what you will be doing on Games Master?
Nah.
Right, brilliant. There we go. So Grado was down filming Games Master last week, and Stephen is still MIA. We think he's getting written off River City. That's the rumour we're starting. He's moving house. The poor lad. He's having a hard old time at Mr. Purdon at the moment, isn't he?
He's stressed out.
Oh God, he is. Like the pictures and we could play some of the WhatsApp messages from the group chat, and you just hear the stress in his voice every time he speaks. He's a stress wee monkey, but hopefully the house moves all going well now. But yeah, it is Rangers Daft. We're going to look back at the games in Sparta and against Hibs at the weekend. And as usual, we are joined by one of our patrons who turns into a pundit. It is Mr. Scott Kirkwood. How you doing, Scotty?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good to see you, Scott.
Good to see you.
Good to have you back on. You've been on Rangers Daft previously when it was on Patreon, so we know you've got good analysis into the game. I usually ask favourite Rangers player, favourite Rangers moment. I want you to start mixing this up a wee bit. Who's the worst player to ever pull on the strip at Ibrox?
Oh, it's going to be somebody. There'll be somebody for Division 3 that I'm missing. Who was?
You've got to go on the journey, Scotty. Go on the journey. Who was on the journey?
I'll go fucking Big Cabaret because I thought he was going to be good and he was utter shite. Came from Lazio, everything like that. I thought he was going to be a player.
Do you know? I pure shuddered at the fit by yesterday when Darren McGregor was coming on for Hibs.
Oh, really?
Oh, memories of him, man. Big Puma shorts and all that back in the day. Gave me the fear.
Oh, wait, you had Big Sandaza day and Orion, hopeless.
Do you know he was a player when he was at St Johnstone, obviously in Dundee.
Everybody that came to us down there, they were absolute garbage.
Yeah, that's what happened. So, boys, we're going to look back at the games. Let's go back to last Thursday. You guys have already said before we started recording, didn't talk much about last Thursday. Let's talk more about suits. Because, Scott, you've got a big spot on your neck from a suit you're wearing at a wedding at the weekend, weren't you? That's for official.
My missus started calling me Spot. It's no Scott.
Spot Kirkwood. I love that chat.
That's how it goes now.
Was your shirt too tight or something? What was the deal?
No, I didn't come into it. Was just dancing all night, sweating like fuck.
Dancing all night?
It's just, belter. But honestly, running about like a heedless chicken trying to secure the suit, missed the start of the football. I was in Next, I was in TK Maxx, I was in everything. No, it was to get shoes and a shirt. Running about like a heedless chicken.
Scott, I don't know. What do you weigh, Scott?
I didn't come away, but I'm 17. I would say probably about 16 and a half stone, something like that.
Aye, what are you running about the neck?
17 and a half.
I'm 18 and a half, mate. It's murder.
It's fucking brutal, man.
See trying to wear a suit, mate, it's a nightmare. First of all, because we're next, that's a big, it means that the rest of the shirt's baggy as, and it's so baggy. I feel like, not there's anything wrong with bus drivers, but I feel like a big bus driver when I'm wearing a big shirt, and it always comes untucked. My belly ends up hanging out. I look really, really dishevelled when I'm in a suit, and you probably hear on Sunday there I was in hospitality again there at Ibrox, and it was, and I hadn't got my shirt or trousers pressed for the last time I was at the game, which was the week before. I spent my Saturday in front of YouTube with the ironing board, looking up YouTube how to press trousers and how to iron a I'm standing in my breaks on Saturday with this YouTube.
You actually haven't got YouTube to work out how to press trousers.
Well, I didn't know that, because you need to fin the crease. You need to fin the crease on that shit.
Aye.
You can do that.
Aye.
You can do that. You can fin the crease and do it.
You can fin the crease in a pair of trousers, aye.
Oh no, I was about 4 hours and it still didn't look any better.
It's the jackets, man. See, try to iron a jacket. What way do you button it up? Do you like murder?
Listen, boys, you can avoid it all you want. You can talk about the suits all you want. You're not getting away from talking about the Sparta game last Thursday. So let's get into it. 1-0 Sparta away from home.
Brutal.
Connor Goldsnaps and Calvin Bassey put into defence alongside Leon Balogun. Alfredo Morelos didn't start, and Bacuna earned his first full start. Boys, overall performance, Scott, you missed the first 10 minutes. What do you make of the game?
Just playing rubbish, eh? Just same as what it's been all season. You know what I mean? I said that, I think it was the last time I was on day. It's like you get away. It was after the Lyon game I was on. It's like you get away with wee silly misplaced passes and that in the league. You didn't get away with them in Europe. Any mistakes just bounced upon, eh? It doesn't help when you've not got any centre. You've got one centre half and all. I mean, the boy at the top was killing Bassey every time, but aye. No, brutal.
It wasn't a good watch at all, wasn't it? No. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think what was a worst sort of away. I mean, when you put it into consideration and in context, but we should have done better than Thursday night, man. Come on. I mean,
that's it. I mean, for a team that you know the success you've had in Europe over the last few seasons under Gerrard, you know, it's like it wasn't the European performance that fans are used to, was it?
No. It's just again, it's what Scott says. We've not kicked the ball all season in terms of we're still waiting to come out of first gear. Even on Sunday, which we'll get to, it took for a sending off for us to kind of buck up our ideas and get in the front foot. But Thursday night, obviously was brutal to watch. We just didn't look good at all. And also the carry on with the fans as well was a horrible thing as well.
I mean,
that was not just depressing, man.
I know the big talking point. Obviously, fans banned from the game due to racial abuse against Monaco. They filled it with 10,000 school kids who were supervised, and yet there's still all this booing going. We'll get to that when we talked about Kamara sending off. Were you surprised Morelos didn't start with the record he has in Europe? Why did Gerrard not start him?
I think see when you play in Europe, obviously we're missing Kent, right? When we play in Europe, it is trying to be a counter-attacking football. I mean, you put Morelos up, there isn't much pay. Who was it that started? It was Roof.
Sakala.
But if it would be Morelos instead of Sakala, you've got Roof, and they're good on the ball, but they're not giving you that breakaway pace. I think that's the reason he would have went for that, but it didn't work. I'd play Morelos over it. Morelos has got to play, even if he is shit out of form, in my opinion.
I don't know if I had the end today with the game at the weekend. I know that Gerrard was talking about how he rested Lundstrom for that game last week, because Lundstrom had been the best player on the pitch the last couple of games before that. Yep. And he had rested him for Saturday. I don't know if it's the same case with Morelos, but I agree with you, mate. I think Morelos should be playing or not. I don't know about Sakala. I don't know whether he's still kind of try to find his feet. Don't get me wrong, he never gave up. He was always...
his movement's impressive, Grado. I'm always impressed by his movement.
Aye. Yeah.
He got that chance. Well, saying it's a chance, it's the one that he gets in. He got in behind a couple of times. I thought he was unlucky. I think he looks a no bad player, Sakala. Mm-hmm. He's raw, isn't he? Just raw pace.
He's a bit raw, but I was surprised that Morelos didn't start. What do you make of your boy Bacuna starting then? What first kind of real glance of him starting the game? What did you make of him?
Well, I didn't get to see a lot of Bacuna because by the time I get sat down to watch it for coming back for the podcast, he get taken off. Was he injured then?
Aye, he was injured. I was the same. I seen maybe about 15 minutes of him.
Yeah, took a wee knock and then...
I mean, I think by all accounts, we actually played well the first kind of 15-20 minutes, apparently. If you look at the reports, it was a bit... The
bit that we both missed.
Since we started watching,
that was nice of him.
Yeah. But I mean, the surprise that Hadji, again, we're talking about people being left on the bench. Again, Hadji's another one that's done really well for you when he's played in Europe. Again, another player that was left on the bench, surprisingly.
Again, I know, but like I said with Hadji, man, it's like... he's so inconsistent, Hadji. He'll come on and turn the game around, and then in the next game, he'll be back to square one again. And he's a... I mean, don't get me wrong, he's gave us some great moments, but he's so...
Aye. I love Hadji. I thought he was poor on Sunday too. I didn't really think he done much on Sunday either, eh? But he is a good player. He is one of the boys that can give you a wee magic turn. But I think it was an okay and a knock though. I don't think that's why he didn't start, eh?
Right, was he?
I think so.
I mean, initially, you guys must have first 10-15 minutes, but the players seemed to struggle with the surface. They seemed to be sliding on their arse all over the place. I don't know if it was the boots they were wearing or what.
Bowling shoes.
Yeah, it just seemed to be
sliding. One of the comments.
Yeah, they seemed to be sliding on the arse, but I don't think you can put down the surface for it because it just seemed to be Rangers out of sort. Just with Bassey being in there, was that the main problem that he's had, the defence at the week on Thursday?
I think it didn't help, like they played that big long ball over the top and it coat bass you all the time. But as you say, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, you've got Balogun, the only fit centre half. I mean, Bassey's played there, I think, for the 23s for Leicester or something.
Yeah, he played there under 23s.
I can't see him being put there again. Bassey.
Nah, I wouldn't fault him. It's not his position. You can't really expect him to come on and be absolutely brilliant.
I mean, it's hard going from, I guess if you have played, fair enough, he has played that, but going from a position left back and then moving into centre half, it's a totally different game.
100%.
Just play, Would that goal, Sparta's goal, would you think that would have been given without the technology, or do you think? I mean, it was a mile over the line. When you look back at it, it was an absolute mile over the line. Do you think that you would have got away with that if the technology hadn't been there?
Was there technology?
I mean, that was
the wee watch.
The wee watch, right?
Aye. Technology was in use. So.
I could tell it was a goal right from watching it.
I thought it was a goal.
Tell right away, that's a goal. To
be fair though, my pet hate in football, no men on the post. Drives me.
Oh mate, I know it, and that's by the way, that's no like Rangers.
No,
to have a man missing for the back post, you're bang on.
Oh God! You have somebody on the post that doesn't go in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you look at the Celtic game yesterday. The man on the post that went over his head.
Aye.
So
I was going to the game. I never seen that. I've not seen the goals.
Have you not? No. I know. Yeah, I hate that as well. Why not put a man on the post? It's simple. You know what I mean? Good saves from McGregor though. I thought McGregor had a good game. I thought
pass marks only player, I would imagine.
Really, only pass marks for him, Grado? Aye.
I would say so. Really, McGregor was only pass marks.
Yeah, some good.
Just a poor nightmare.
Front three, but that's the worst the front three I've played.
Aye.
A long time.
Let's get on to the Kamara sending off. Do you think his head just went all these fucking? I mean,
I can't even remember the sending.
I don't think the second one's a booking, eh?
I was going to ask that. That for me wasn't a second yellow. Looking at
the first one's a definite yellow. No deliberate, but he's blocked the boy. But it's not. See when that. So I was watching it on my phone. And I was like, what's he done there? And it shows the replays, and I'm like, nah, there's no much in that.
Do you think his head just went, no, Scotty? Do you think it just?
Probably.
It's. I mean, we shouldn't be here in 2021. Children. I mean, booing a black player on the park.
And that's the thing. It wasn't just him. It's not even like it's just because of the racist abuse incident. They were booing Balogun. They were booing Roof.
Yeah. It's a disgrace. Absolutely.
It was just mega disheartening and watching it. You're just watching it going,
it's horrible.
I know.
Because, I mean, we know how he reacted to when it happened at Ibrox, man. It really, really affected him, and I thought he must have felt so alone in that park, man, when you think about it. Like,
you can tell it hanged his game, eh?
Oh, aye.
Like, it was quiet, but I mean, understandable, you know what I mean?
And in the fall, it's just been absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
For the
Czech. Was it not like the Czech Prime Minister and all that? Was what
I know, and you see
a meeting with the British ambassador because they're saying that 10-year-old kids are getting abused.
Aye, that's what they did, wasn't it? They were saying.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I was just going to say, the thing is as well, you're not trying to tell me 10-year-old that the 10-year-old Wayne's on the getting told who to boo, what to boo.
Aye, it's not the aim.
It's parents. It's the parents. So, I mean, it's shocking. I mean, aside for that, it's not great reading, boys. A few statistics for you here. Rangers without a win in 4 Europa League games now, drawn 1, lost 3. That was after he's won 6 and draw 2 in the previous 8. And they failed to score in 3 consecutive games in Europe now as well for the first time since July 2011, which is surprising statistic. It just goes to show how far you guys have come and how, a result like that, when usually you go to somewhere like Czech Republic, there's no easy games away in Europe. But, I mean, you can tell by how disappointed you guys are that, that's how far you have come. So I guess it's credit to where Rangers are at now, isn't it?
I mean, it's especially for last season, you had to have a drop off. I mean, it was never going to be as good as last year. I mean, that was a record breaking years for hundreds of stuff. But it is disappointing when your standards are up here and you always want it to be there, but sometimes it's just not realistic, especially with players out. I mean, going out of the Czech Republic with 1 fit centre half. I mean,
yeah.
Plus, let's be honest, I can you want to win every game. Europa's a bonus.
I mean,
right, John, I've had enough talking about this game now.
Okay, I was going to say, you really need, I guess, to progress into the next stage is 6 points against on the Brøndby games, don't you? You need the home and away. You need wins home and away.
See this new league thing, at least if they got a banger of a theme tune, at least wouldn't mind that getting played at Ibrox. Just Europa League.
Do you know like?
Is that not the Europa?
Do you not like that one? No, but
I like that one. I'm saying, what's this conference one? I'm going to see if that's a banger. Get that played.
I'm not. We'll need to check out what the conference music sounds like. Right, let's say, okay, let's move into yesterday's game against Hibs at Ibrox. Grado was in hospitality in the Waddle suite with his suit on. Grado, who did you bump into hospitality? Did you meet any celebs or, any Rangers, ex-Rangers players?
Katerina Shearer.
Katrina Shearer, former BBC leader.
I met the scout that scouted wee Billy. I was speaking to him. Yeah, it was nice talking to him.
Hot tips for up-and-coming players from the scout?
No, I don't know if he still does it. I was speaking to a lot of the Hibs. Oh no, I was speaking to the Hibs bus driver because remember on Football Daft I was telling you on 2 doors down. Parts of Hamilton. Remember I said I pestered the Parts of Hamilton driver for like 2 days and I was telling him to write a book. I was coming to Ibrox and his mask was like, "You shouldn't get biggin." Like, what are you doing, mate? You know you're big at. I was talking to him, man, because he was driving the Hibs bus, so he was. So that was.
Great to get his number so we can get him on Football Daft.
No, see, there was 2 of them, right? He was in the kind of quiet one. There was another guy that had a wee bit of personality. This guy was a bit kind of,
right. Hospitality for the game.
No, he was obviously standing outside his bus waiting on Hibs players coming out.
So no bad gig that,
they had great stories, mate, about getting all the tracksuits I've collected over the years and all that.
I know. Right, okay, that guy doesn't make the cut then. We'll look out for the other bus drivers and laddie. But
I think he drives a Partick one, the other guy.
All right, okay. What was the food like, Grado?
Had Silverside.
Oh, Silverside. Sunday lunch, was that Sunday lunch? Bit of gravy.
Silverside, and I had a bit of lamb tagine hanging on. And I had.
Was that a carvery?
What? Was
that carvery?
Aye, sort of carvery, aye. But then I had, what do you call that pasta with the stuff inside it?
Ravioli.
Aye. I had ravioli and wee kind of chip things and a bit of cheese. And then at half time I had a piece of chicken tikka.
What a combination. So we've got a bit on the plate, we've got a lamb tagine, a bit of Silverside, some ravioli. Did you have gravy? Was this all on the one plate with gravy?
Just a wee spot on the side for I didn't need gravy because it was quite moist.
Right, okay. Did you dip the ravioli in the gravy?
Oh, I just hang it all together, just take me bits and bobs one at a time, work my way around it.
And what,
from the outside in.
Do you have chips on there as well?
Just the only chips are wee kind of round, kind of frittery things.
Oh, nice. That's a strange combination.
Beautiful.
I had two dragon soups and a Scotch pie. Pretty much.
Living the dream, Scott. So let's move on to the game. Nathan Patterson, Goldson, Lundstrom, Haji, Wright and Morelos all back in from Europe, freshening up the team. Surprised to see Nathan Patterson start such a big game because in previous games he's been used sparingly there and then, it's always been tabbed, but that was a huge game for Rangers. So were you guys surprised to see him in the starting lineup?
I was, but I was excited for it. As soon as I saw the lineup, I thought, Christ, they're going for it today. The way the team lined up, and I thought, well, this is Patterson's chance, isn't it? This is a really good chance for Patterson. Don't know what you thought about Patterson in the overall game, Scott. He obviously provided the goal.
Aye.
I tell you about composure.
I thought he done all right.
He done all right.
I thought he had a bit of a slow start, but he came. Mm-hmm. He's what age is he? 19. Aye. I mean, he's no. Yeah. He's going to be like that. He was even the same when he played in the Scotland games. Aye. There was some stuff he was brilliant, and other stuff you're like, oh Christ.
Aye, you've got to take that into consideration. I thought he done all right.
Aye.
I mean, it must be intimidating for a 19-year-old, to go in front in a big game like it was at the weekend, to go in front of 50,000 people and play. It must be very intimidating. So
as well, he's up against that Doige as well. Again, he's a young guy too. He's one of the best left backs in the league. It's not an easy.
Yeah, exactly. So no, surprised to see him starting. Kind of mixed reactions of how he played then, boys.
I like him though. He's brilliant, Patterson.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he provided for the first goal.
Assist for the goal.
So he's done his job. Exactly. Obviously, as I said, a wee bit lack of composure on some of his crosses and shooting, but as I say, Scott, you're bang on. You've got to remember his age.
Yeah,
he'll come.
So first goal comes Hibs' way. Nisbet had a bit of a free header at the back post. Who's to blame there? Goldson or Lundstrom?
But you could actually say Barisic could have been tighter to who crossed it in. I thought he could have been tighter into him.
It was the ball out. It was
Cadden who scored. Who played the ball across to the back post. Great header.
It's a free header, but it's a good header. I was sitting right behind it. I was sitting in one of my pals' seats. So I was at the other side of the stadium, but I was sitting right behind it. It was a great finish. Mm-hmm. Right in the corner, It's a peach header.
It did come out. It was a kind of, Hibs started off well. They were, let's not beat about the bush, man. They're a good team. They're a good team. They're well organised. They controlled a wee bit the first kind of 10, 15 minutes. But I felt as if that came out of nowhere, that goal. And I thought, here we go, this is good. But then...
How did the crowd feel, Grado, when after the goal? How did the crowd feel?
By the way, they weren't too bad. They weren't what you would imagine, like Rangers boo and getting. It wasn't like that. I actually thought the crowd were really, really good on Sunday. I think it made people think, well, Rangers, they've got to get their acting gear now. They've got to, get on the front foot. This is maybe a week and a wake up call for them. So I don't know. I don't think the crowd was too bad. Do you, Scott?
No, I wouldn't me. Everybody kind of cheered on the team from minute one, Because you can get that, You get the absolute misery mongers, man. As soon as something goes wrong, it's the fuck off Tav Brigade. Honestly, everything.
But do you think, the fact that Celtic are a bit behind at the moment, it's given that you a wee bit of breathing space in that respect?
I never think about Celtic.
No, really. But it's fine. That's fine.
Hibs the closest challenge, Well, that's one, I suppose.
Oh, that's it. Let's get to the big turning point in the game then. The Porteous sending off. When you boys saw it in real time, what did you initially think?
I didn't think it was a foul.
As well.
Aye, when I first seen it, I didn't think it. Where I sat, it wasn't a good view anyway. But when I messaged my pals who are Hibs fans, and I was like, "What happened with was it a sending off?" And obviously they said no. But watching the replay, it's a stone wall.
It's a red card all day long. It's a red card, John. It's a red card.
Well,
it's a red card. His foot goes over the ball.
Plays it with his arse.
He plays the ball with his arse. It is a red card. You listen to Sky News today. Would you call him Dermot?
Yeah.
Fucking call him. He says it's a red card. It's a red card, John.
Right, okay. I think just see me as I play centre half, and you just see challenges like that, and he's won the ball. His leg was high, and Hibs are actually appealing it.
By the way, I agree. See, it is a shite rule, right? Because it has. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but that is the rule. Going by the rules, it's a sending off.
Yeah, there's a bad angle. You see it from like you saw it in real time, and you saw it from where maybe the referee saw it from. But then you see there's one angle that you see it behind, and you think, actually, he's went in too reckless there.
There's a lot of feedback on the internet about how because it was Porteous. Because
how's the ref thinking about that in a snap decision like that? How can the ref go, "Oh, that's Porteous. He's got previous. I'm going to send them off."
But you could say the same about Morelos. You guys could probably say...
I've never said that about Morelos.
Well, as well, when he goes and does something stupid, the reputation that precedes him. And he has got a bit of this reputation now, Porteous going for him.
Listen, John, see...
I wasn't in Grado.
Right, well, I just think Porteous, if he never gets sent off, Hibs could have won that game. He let his team down. Because I reckon if Porteous never got sent off, the next goal would have been another Hibs goal.
Do you think so?
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. It could have been.
He
let down himself.
He's let down his family.
He let down his family.
He's let down his team. He's let down his manager. He's let down the Hibs support. Let down everyone.
I've never been a fan of the boy, let's be honest. He's got a picture. What was he posting me the picture of him tackling Morelos or something like that?
Somebody photoshopped it with the big red gear.
He likes noising. He likes noising the Rangers up.
I actually think I think he needs to screw up, but I actually think he's a good centre half. I think he'll do
start at his bloody age.
Was it like
grow up?
Hibs I love you're full of the cliches tonight, Grade. I'm loving this. Hibs go down to 10 men. Was that frustrating up to half time? Was that frustrating that Rangers didn't really come out and take advantage of that?
They say so because I thought we played all right actually. See, when they went down to 10, you're going, right, fuck, this is going to be 10 men behind the ball and it's going to be side to side football. But I actually thought we'd done all right. See, at half time, I was like, nah, I wasn't worried about that, to be honest.
Were you like me? Because when there was a sending off, I thought, how many times has this not worked in our favour?
100%.
When they get down to 10 men. And I did think when they get sent off the 30th minute, it took us a good 10 minutes.
Aye.
I'd say between the 40th and the 45th minute, we kind of really, really turned it on. I didn't want the half-time whistle to blow.
Aye.
But I thought this will be a tasty, tasty second half.
Aye. And so can we go on and talk about it? To be fair to Gerrard, they did change it.
But by the way, you're right, and he was quick at changing it. I'm sitting there going, this is not like Gerrard to make these substitutions that early.
Which is one thing that I think every Rangers fan slaughtered him for, is sticking with the 4-3-3, no changing nothing.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's while we're on it, let's talk about the changes he made to swing it in Rangers' way. What did you make of him? Because there has been a criticism of Steven Gerrard not having a plan B. What did you make of the changes that he made?
I can't get a silver side out of my head now. I'm just sitting here thinking, now I want another bit of that silver side.
Well, I've got a wee Max's pizza for my dinner tonight.
Guess what? I've made stovies.
Oh, have you really?
Got a good stovey weather tonight.
Have you done it? Sausages?
I made it because my father keeps coming round with random stuff, man. He brings round about 12 rolls, a bag of sausages, a packet of bacon, a packet of chopped pork, oranges. I've got about 40 oranges in the fridge because he keeps bringing them every week. I don't eat oranges anyway. I just stuck them all in the night in the slow cooker. A bit tasteless, but I've not seasoned them right. But I'll deal with brown sauce. I'll get brown sauce.
Aye. Stock, potatoes, sausages, onions, loads of 2 onions. I put
onions, carrots.
Aye, nice.
A bit of basto, man. Near the end, just to kind of thicken the sauce.
Interesting. If you want to get your stovies recipe into Rangers, Daft would really, really appreciate that. How do you do your stovies? That's the big question this week. We'll put that on football, Daft. So moving on for stovies, the tactical changes that Grado's just tried to deflect from. Tactical changes Steven Gerrard made. Scott, I'll come to you. What did you make of it?
Well, Roof made a difference. See, I love Roof. Roof's honestly probably one of my favourite players. See, just the wee pockets of space that he picks up. It causes all ends of bother, eh? It's the same with his goal. He gets away from the ball, he's round the back post, 3-header.
Yeah. Were you worried that when you saw that, obviously it was a great ball in from Patterson, but initially when I saw that, I thought he might be offside there. There was that kind of, it's one of those ones that you look immediately at the linesman, I thought.
It was a delayed celebration. For me, it was a delayed celebration. I looked right at the linesman as soon as I saw him pelting back up the park. I thought, right, now I can celebrate.
Yeah.
I jumped around.
I've not seen a definitive replay of the goal. I've not seen an angle from it.
It's a conspiracy.
I hope it was offside.
So I meet it. And I hope Porty's red card does get rescinded.
Amazing. And then we had Morelos with the winner. Was it a hard fought win, or was it easy? It seemed like it was like grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck with the changes, with the sending off. It seemed a bit hard fought.
I think once we got the second, bringing Davis on just to keep the ball, I thought our game management after we scored the second was brilliant. That's the best I've seen it in a long time. We
need to talk about player of the season so far for me, Lundstrom. He was brilliant.
It's an interesting one because he was a target.
That was his best game.
Yeah, man of the match for a lot of people. He was a target for the Boo Boys for a while there, though, Grado.
No, not me.
See when he plays deep. See when he plays where Davis was playing. Brilliant. But I didn't say it was you, Grado. I thought it was brilliant. He was
great yesterday.
It's a problem though, Scotty, that you brought him in to be a box-to-box midfielder because you've got Kamara and Davis there already. Was Lundstrom brought in as that kind of box-to-box midfielder?
Probably, but to be fair, you've got other boys that can play in the middle now, especially when you've got Ryan Jack coming back. I think he's been brilliant. I think it's good as well that we can finally give Davis a rest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's looking good. He could be a good replacement.
Aye.
For Davis, that's going to be the idea that they're going to go for.
Yeah. Well, I'm impressed that I'd like it because there's been a lot of criticism of him early on this season, so it seems that the table's turned for him. Steven Gerrard, very animated at the end. That's the most animated that I've seen him. He knew how big a win that was. He said, I think the quote was, it was closer to the performance that he expected this season. Was that the best? I mean, bearing in mind it was 11 against 10, but is that an indication of how Rangers will? Is this a platform from which to build on?
I thought that's sort of the only other time I thought we played really well was the first half against Motherwell. I thought we played well, and then the second half crumbled. But hopefully, it's a massive win.
Oh, Scott, it's a big win because at the end of the day, as what I've says, Hibs are a really good team, man. It's a good result for us because they are. I mean, what's going to happen with Edinburgh teams is they're going to end up by the end of December. It's back to, I don't know this season.
No, neither they are. Man. No.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Hearts. I've only heard a lot of Hearts, but Hibs, they're a good side.
I mean, you won't fancy going away at Easter Road. I mean, I mean, the same with we all know Tynecastles are also a really hard game as well. Steven Gerrard after the match said, really pleased with the result. We didn't panic. We played with maturity and class. The subs helped us a lot, like you boys were saying. But it was a really strong performance from the boys. On the tackle, which everyone's been talking about, there's been so much debate about this on Twitter and all over the place today. It's a wild tackle. The kid only has to play the ball. I don't know why there is any reason that he wants to go in with that intent. It's the second time he's done that against us because he did it against Koulibaly not so long ago. So the kid is obviously not learning and he has let his manager and his teammates down today. I know one or two things about bad tackles because I made a few myself, so I'm not in a glass house here. Fair play for Gerrard coming out and do that, but I don't like other managers talking about your players right enough. But Jack Ross, I think he came out and said he didn't say one way or the other, but he kind of gave the hint. But then, like we say, Hibs have went and appealed the decision today, so that goes to an SFA panel.
Does that mean he gets a longer ban though if it's declined?
I think he does. You know,
that's never getting rescinded.
No, it won't get rescinded. It won't get rescinded. But yes, happy with that, boys. It was a big game, probably. Aside from the Celtic game, Rangers' biggest of the season. So happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delighted. It's all about winning games, John Boy. It's all about winning games. Wee bit disappointed that the international breaks came round about again. It feels as if it was only last week we had to suffer international football.
Aye, but we're still in it this time. It's not one of these international breaks where we're fucking rotten watching bloody Holland versus Moldova on a Friday.
Well, I'm glad you're looking
forward to the Scotland games.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're looking forward to it.
Grado doesn't like international.
I know.
No, I do. No, it's just not the same.
You should see some videos of him online as well. Doing the Euros, where he's starting bun it on, he's killing, running about the streets of Glasgow. Come on, Scotland! He's like Ronnie Corey, I tell you. Right, so across the week, boys, let's get your Rangers Daft from across the week, the European and the game against Hibs.
That's two completely different games, John Boy, innit?
Hadji.
Aye, I don't think he was very good in either.
I don't know. Look, Rangers Dafty. As I said, obviously I think Bassey for the first game, but you can't really. I mean, it's not his fault, but he just had a poor game, didn't he? Everybody had a poor game on Thursday night. Say Bassey for Thursday. Sunday. Right. It's I don't really want to say anybody for Hadji for Sunday. Although I did think he was going to score that goal when he kind of cut in along because he scored goals like that before. I thought that's going in. So that's a pretty good save. I don't think the goalie done too well. Their goalie done too well for their goals. However, he done well there.
Right. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, right, and your Rangers Daft rated for the week.
I'm gonna say either Ruth or Lundstrom.
Scott?
Aye, Lundstrom. Special shout to McGregor though, because he was half decent on Thursday. And see when we're 2-1 up and he just starts diving about, wasting time. Fucking love that. Can you go pick up the ball, kicks it 5 years, then goes and picks it up. Love that.
Shit house rate at his finest. Right, okay, I'll go into some Rangers news, boys. Not a lot this week. A lot of people buzzing about the B-side I've seen on Twitter. Another 6-1 win for them against Berwick Rangers with 6 different scorers. Robbie Fraser, Leon King, Alex Lowry, Ross McCausland, Kyle McLeod and Tony Weston all getting themselves on this score sheet. I mean, the B-side or the B team or the Colts team, whatever you want to call them, they seem to be doing a decent job down there. What are your thoughts on the Colts team? I mean, it's obviously great news for Rangers and Celtic supporters. But, I mean, it's not, for a man who supports the lower leagues, I don't think it's great news for everyone else, is it?
Nah, as he says, it's good for the old firm because you're boys playing against men and it's real kind of football rather than just playing like under 18s and all that all the time. But tell you what though, see that Tony Weston, see him in Football Manager, what a player.
That's how you judge all the young players, isn't it?
I mean, I've never seen him play in my life, but he's class in Football Manager.
Hey, great. Would you guys consider going to a Rangers Colts match?
It's hospitality, aye.
Aye, brilliant, there we are. Very good. So if you are a company looking for Grado to come to hospitality for one of the Rangers B matches, he is available. That is right.
Hey, by the way, they play the Shire. That's the one that's got the Indian pies.
Where's that?
The Shire, aye. They've got the
Shire?
The Shire have got the Indian pies. No, I don't think...
Oh, right. It's Cumbernauld Colts. Are they in the Lowland League?
Cumbernauld Colts.
Cumbernauld Colts.
Yes, they are. They don't. I mean, in the lower league, you've got the Shires in there, Berwick's in there,
the Braves.
Bonus.
Yeah, Boness. I forgot they've.
What's this about Indian pie, Scott?
Was it they used to cook them in the same oven? Or something like that.
The Shire used to do they used to have, that was at the old First Park, Scotty. They used to have.
Oh, was it?
That was at the old First Park. I mean, the Shire's playing their games up at the Falkirk Stadium now.
Anybody an arse with Grado?
What's that?
Anybody an arse coming? They've not got the Indian pie anyway.
Oh, well, I'm not going then.
The other bit of news that I saw, it was Kieran Maguire is delighted Castore here to stay after 25 million Rangers deal update. This finance boffin Kieran Maguire talking to Football Insider about the deal that Castore... Is it Castore or Castore? I've heard two.
I say Castor.
I say Castore as well, aye.
Yeah, an email sent to supporters relayed by Rangers News on the 20th of September said the club are providing under construction the superstore at Ibrox. An update on that. Have you seen the sort of videos of all this, boys? You're quite impressed by the kind of house doing?
Looks good. There's a wee staging on that.
I know, like a wee nightclub in that.
Wee theatre.
I know the boys that did.
Oh, yeah, look at this. It's funny you're saying that, right? You know, they might be looking for stuff for the history museum. Look, I was just because I'm moving stuff out the back door and I've came across this lot that I got years ago. It's Rangers versus Celtic match programme from 15th of September 1973.
There you go.
Look at that, right? 5 pence it was.
Who was talk us through some of the adverts that are in there.
Right, aye, that's what I was looking for, right?
The adverts are always getting the best.
Right, we've actually got Dixon Travel for a big holiday value. Fly Iberia big jet every Saturday from Glasgow to Mallorca. Choice of resort.
Cost.
Dixon Travel. It doesn't say it, but it
doesn't give you the cost.
What else have we got here? What other
we're not bothered about the football. We're just like what?
Let me see what I've got here. There's a bit where, remember they used to do it in the programmes where they would take a picture of the crowd, and if you were spotted in it, then you got the money or whatever. Skelly's Motors.
Skelly's Motors, yep.
Sparkling new Fords. Or superior used cars from Skelly's. What do we see? Magnificent new Skelly Fords are popular. Granadas, Sporty Cortinas and Capris have been chosen by officials, management players by the club at Skelly's. The big four centres in Scotland, it would appear that not only they share considerable knowledge of football supporters, they all know a good bit about the car buying game also.
Fantastic.
We can sponsor the podcast, man.
Let's get Skelly's on the podcast. That was a good advert for them. I think they've been defunct for about 40 years now, but that's fine. So Edmondson House, the Castore, the basically the article that I read here on the Football Insider is basically, it looks like Castore are there to stay, obviously with the investment they've got involved with Edmondson House as well. Are you guys been happy with, I mean, I know there was a lot of hassles initially with the Castore gear. Do you
like story, Scott?
No, I've actually haven't. Get what annoys me. I think it was on Football Daft that you were talking about it. Fucking having to buy triple XLs. Fuck off.
Mate, murder.
Give me a complex, man.
Mate, I'll tell you now. I could pull in here right now. My double XL has still got the tags on it. I will not be buying a treble XL.
Are you seriously refusing to buy it, Grado?
I've got it sitting in there, it's sitting up. You mean it doesn't fit me? Doesn't fit me?
The triple XL doesn't fit you.
No, not right. The double XL doesn't fit me, and I'm no way am I swapping it for a treble XL. Right. I can't get.
I'm the same. I get the wee 3/4 zips. That's the only one. That's the only thing I'm buying.
It's honestly, it's like a swimsuit, or what we call it, a bodysuit.
Well, there must be big clemmy lads at the Rangers games looking like they're fucking just.
I remember.
Have you seen boys like are walking about like fucking?
And that's not going to be me.
Right,
yeah, do you ken the season 2011-2012? Bad that season. I was a medium.
You're a medium?
I mean, I was busting out it. I was a medium then. That was 10 years. I get slagged like fuck because I bought a medium because I dropped a wee bit of weight. But that's what I'm saying. The jump for medium to treble XL was a big jump, John.
Right, okay. So
very disheartening.
I blame it on the Castore. I'm not an actual triple XL. I know. Correct.
Listen, Castore, though, you are listening to this podcast. Please just make Grado, just pretend, right on the label, right? Get a special top made up for Grado and just call it an XL, right? But it will be secretly a treble XL. But just write on the label and just send it through to Grado so he can feel good about himself, all right?
Well, I was going to try to get into the double XL for the first Old Firm game.
Right, okay.
And then that never happened. Then I went, right, I'll definitely bin it for the next one.
Right, is that going to happen?
We'll see. Because I'll get panto.
Well, there'll be panto and we'll wait and see how the stovies go in the meantime. So yeah, come on, Castore, make a double XL for Grado. That's it for Rangers Daft today. Thank you very much for listening. Next game is the Hearts game. We've obviously got an international break next week, however, so no Rangers Daft next week. And we'll talk about the Hearts game with none other than Ewan Cameron, who is threatening to come on Football Daft ahead of the Hearts game and say, we're going to go top of the league, Ken.
Stephen! Half and half scarf, look.
Stephen, we're going to go top of the league.
It's going to go viral.
So Ewan will be on Football Daft next week to talk about that. Me and Grado will be back on Football Daft this week with Chris. We don't think Stephen's going to make it again this week, so it'll just be the three of us. Well, we'll do that thing that we did last week, Grado, and just like talk about anything but football when me and you just grab our radio prep and talk.
I don't know, was it any good, Scott?
I enjoyed the wrestling.
Right.
I enjoyed the talk of the wrestling.
Scott enjoys the wrestling chat.
Did you talk about wrestling on Football Daft last week?
Aye. Can't remember what it was, but
there
was some wrestling stuff in there.
Oh, right.
There's always some wrestling chat when it's me, Chris.
Aye.
Well, so,
that's good.
Thank you very much for listening to Rangers Daft. Remember, if you want to be a pundit like Scott, fantastic job as ever, Scott. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Biggin.
Jump on Patreon, patreon.com/football daft, where you also get the chance to come into the Football Daft studio, watch us record the show. You'll get cameos, you get the video versions of the show, you get loads of shabby outtakes, teammates, you get loads of stuff. So join up, patreon.com/football daft. We'd really appreciate that. And what we'd also appreciate is you leaving a review on Apple, so we get like 5 stars. I think we're at like 4.2 stars on Apple, Grado.
Right.
For Football Daft.
What were we at 5?
Wrestling Daft, our sister podcast, has 5 stars, so we need to get Football Daft up to the Wrestling Daft standards.
6 if it was the Tokyo Dome.
Brilliant.
In joke there for the wrestling.
That was brilliant.
So yeah, please vote on our swanky moment. Vote on your favourite swanky moment from this week as well. That's up on our Twitter just now. do all that stuff. That'd be great. Until next time, though, on Rangers Daft.
We are the people.
We are the people.
Audio Frontier.